Frick is reporting this morning. Trust EC for credible register. Deputy Chair assures political parties. So yesterday, the EC did a press conference. We carried it live at 6 o'clock. The interesting part is that I kept listening. And what the EC is saying is that the NDC came to complain about some difficulties with the register. They invited them. They had some time to engage them on the matter. And the NDC promised to provide a list of the difficulties they have to register. The ones they raised in the meetings with them, they have fixed all of them. At least that's what they say. Again, also the ones that were in the public known, like transfers that were supposed to have been done were not done, all of them have been corrected and also fixed. That's the ones that required fixing. In other cases too, some of the people involved did the request for transfer themselves, so you cannot stop it anyway. So the EC moved on now to say that the other issue the NDC said that they'll provide a list. Up to now, they've not provided the list to them. So they don't know how to fix what they cannot see or they have not seen. Secondly, they believe that they, as an institution, do not require any external party. You know, the call is for a forensic external body to do the auditing of the electoral register. Now, the Electoral Commission says they've been doing this since 1992. I'm not sure if there's a lot of people that are asking. The Commission has been doing this since 1992. So they know how to make sure that we have a credible register. So they will make sure that is done without necessarily bringing external bodies into it. And they also responded to the other point about dead people being on the register. They said they're also waiting for the list that the NDC promised to provide out there. Now, we know that the NDC says on Tuesday, right? They are going on a demonstration. Recently, I heard other groups saying that they also have demonstrations planned for the same day. But they called on former President John Dramani Mahama as a statesman, and that's the word they use, to talk to his party, not to be on the street, but rather come and sit and discuss with them their difficulties. Yes, and that they will fix it. My only difficulty is that on one hand, you hear the EC say, there's no problem, everything is okay. On the other hand, come and let's have a conversation. Mostly it doesn't bode well for the position of negotiations. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I get you.
And some of the words you should not use when you are a state institution, it suggests that you have taken a strong position. There's nothing wrong with the register.
At this time, you want to come across as
so it's not made to look like
the table.
Because I was there. Remember this conversation we had at Alisa Hotel? I was the one doing the tally. This party can present their data on what should happen to the electoral. You remember that time?
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, I did a tally. I think it was 15-2 or so. It was at the time the MPP that was making the demands. You get the point? It's not. And political parties, Winston says he doesn't know what they do with the EC when they are in power. But it's when they are in opposition that they raise matters. But to remove all of these doubts, let it be in the minds of the people that these are just ridiculous claims they are making. I see to the claims when they come along.
You see,
if, for example, if it is too expensive for us to do any of these audits, what does it really include? What is required for these audits anyway? What will be the cost burden to the electoral funds, or how will they affect your quest to give us a credible election? If I were to be the Electoral Commission, I would let it be known to the people that they've reached the point of just making claims. By everything they say, I would agree to it. Especially if it's not going to throw a calendar out into jeopardy or cause any massive problem. But when you make it look like, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with the register, and still want a conversation, then the conversation will be over what?
If I were the EC, this is very simple.
Yeah.
The EC in 2015, in the heat of new voters register, actually had an open forum.
Yeah, I remember. That's
the one you're talking about. Had a forum where the NPP made their presentations, other political parties made their presentations. Elections must only not be free and fair, but must be seen. The processes leading to an election must be free and fair. So what would the EC lose? The NDC says they have evidence. They're calling for a forensic audit. Do a forum. Invite them. Let them make their presentation.
To everybody in this country.
To everybody in this country.
Not just to you. I mean, to all of us.
If they make their presentation, then you say, okay, this one has been.
In fact, people will think about what kind of nonsense are they saying. We'll be able to say that.
Forum. I think that maybe a private meeting might be better.
No, George.
Bring in certain actors.
Because we go into a private meeting. George, you go into a private meeting. Okay, you go into a private meeting. Then The NDC says the EC is not allowing us. The EC says, oh, but when they came, they didn't have any evidence. I wasn't there.
So you see, we don't have third parties who can tell us what's really happening.
I say open it up.
Yeah.
Okay. If the EC says, the NDC has no case, the NDC says, oh, the EC is hiding, I mean, it's not being fair to us, we would see. We, the third parties, would watch and then say, okay, the NDC has no case or the EC has something to hide. Let us decide. But this approach of, oh, we will not open up, we will not open up, oh, it's okay. I just don't buy it. Look.
And there cannot be a register, especially in the Republic of Ghana. That's without flaws.
And
so
again, one quick question for me, Raymond, is that what is the essence of this whole register being opened up this period for people to review and all that? That is the essence, right? To ensure that all these concerns are addressed.
Exhibition is a form of audit.
Yeah, so that all these concerns are addressed. I think that for me, for the two parties, let's come together and deal with the concerns that have been raised. I think there should be a way forward. The strong stance being taken by each party might not help in our quest to ensure that whatever the verdict is after December 7th is accepted by all the parties. So one party don't say that, oh, you know, there were people when this
we raised these matters, they didn't listen. And that's what I'm saying. So if you make it so obvious to people that, listen, it's just left with ridiculous claims, then we can actually even back you, the EC, and say, no, stop these needless things you are raising. But it's almost as if you are in, we'll do it, we'll not do it. So let's come and have a conversation.
And made a very important point recently in his lecture, and that reminds all of us about the fact that elections are won at the polling station.
Let's get to other stories.
Well, the Daily Guide has Nana opens 40 million bitumen plant here in Tema. That is a gold plant trying to export to other countries as well. 2024 elections, Bami and Mahama go neck to neck, according to a new, they say, a comprehensive scientific survey shows that they are both at neck when it comes to who is likely
46.3
to win the.
I don't know who did the research, but I see that 3% undecided and 4% say they would vote for the other candidates. If this was anything to go by, then you'd say the election is heading into a second round. But
the history of second round.
But it's impossible because you look at the number of candidates who are actually vying for this, and there are some who made the analogy to
not
that
all of them would make it onto the ballot paper.
That made analogy if Alan Chamantin is able to do more than 4%, that will push the elections into a second round.
I'm not sure he'll get more than 4%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we can get into the online issues.
Other stories, government sends police and military to the Galamsey site. That's a story in the Daily Guide.